Andrew Jensen. And so Andrew, what is your role on the team currently?
Currently, my major role on the robotics team is acting as inventory lead and safety captain. They're not necessarily directly involved in the building and manufacturing, nor even planning of the robot, but I have two integral jobs that are responsible for helping keeping this team organized and safe. Two problems that we have severely had in the last few years.
Okay, so what exactly does inventory entail?
Well, so far I've been creating a database of tools so that we can organize them and check them out. In previous years, we've had this chest of tools filled with a huge assortment, but people would take things out and throw them in, and we lost not only track of, but actually physically lost many tools. So I'm organizing all the tools back into a manageable state by category and keeping a log of everything we have so that we can check in and check out. I'm also keeping track of what's going on the robot so we know the cost and what we have used from our kit of parts and what we have taken elsewhere.
How is this year differ from previous years on the robotics team?
This is actually my first year doing focusing mostly on inventory and safety. In previous years, I've primarily been on build team. I've done chassis, electronics a little bit, design work, and just a variety of various things. But I decided to head up organization with a lot of the physical parts, not necessarily documents and documentation, but organizing the rest of it. And it's just a unique experience that I think I feel pretty comfortable with because I've learned a lot about organization just from participating in the other parts of the team. I still have remained on parts of the build team, and of course I'm still the mascot, which I can never relinquish.
So, how is this year as far as organization and just kind of general team cohesiveness? How do you feel that is going to benefit the team?
Well, we actually know where things are most of the time. We actually know where other people are most of the time, and I say most of the time because still things get lost. Brian Fisher and his tools that he doesn't check out. But it really helps us, instead of spending 10 minutes looking for a tool, we now know where we have to go, so we could get that, and in those 10 minutes, we could fasten or drill or cut or whatever we need to do so that we could be more efficient and also take better care of our tools so that others won't have to search just as long to find them. It ends up becoming a vicious cycle of tools getting lost, other people finding them, losing them, and it just keeps going on and on until we ended up with a bunch of tools spread out across the school last year.
Okay, so why are you doing robotics?
Let me tell you a story.
Oh, I like stories.
Just sit right down, listen to how I became the fresh principal. I don't remember the lyrics to the fresh principal. Here's a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. If you want to take a moment, just sit right down. I became the fresh principal. Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That took a little while.
Okay. Anyways, let me tell you a story. It was 3.5 years ago that I came to DSST. Small freshman.
How
Probably
small?
about your height.
Oh, really? Let's have a comparison really quick.
I've grown a lot.
Obviously.
In not only height, but maturity.
Let's
And
focus
teamwork.
on something else.
I'm talking about mental maturity. I'm not talking about grown up.
Okay, just continue on with your story.
Alright, so I came to this land, lost, abandoned, hopeless, garnered in shredded rags, with not a dollar to my name. I finally came to America, and I'm here in DSST, and I don't know what I am doing. I have nobody here for me. I have nothing here for me. All I had in my life was just a goal to become something. So I focused almost entirely on academics. I ignored health and social health and mental health, and after a number of breakdowns and a lot of problems, I finally realized what I needed was more than just a high GPA. This was about the same time, after Christmas break, that robotics had started up. One person I did talk to, the name of Wesley Pfeiffer, had told me about the robotics team, and I was very eager to check it out with an interest in engineering and robots. And so I came to the first meeting, and I was terrified. There were about 40 people. I was a little freshman in the corner. I didn't say a word the entire meeting, but I was happy to try. So I did not have the privilege to go to the kickoff event. I don't think I even came to the first meeting because nobody told me about it, but I dedicated myself to 4 nights a week. Every week, I was involved in the Colorado Youth Symphony on Mondays, so I guess I did have music apart from academics. It's always been my thing, but so 4 days a week, every week, and I was still maintaining my grades, but I began to talk to people. Nobody really was my friend, but I met a few more people. Maybe bringing my friend total still not higher than my GPA, which is, I think, the sad ratio between too much nerd when your GPA is higher than your amount of friends. But I stayed at that place for the rest of the season. But I loved it. I went to the competition, and again, I didn't really hang out with anybody, but I was down there in the crowds, cheering on a robot, feeling so excited. And it was just an event that I'd never experienced before. I had been parts of organizations. I'd participated in the Colorado Youth Symphony Orchestra. I'd made first chair, but I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anything besides just, there was just this goal that I had, and no real ever delivering of success. And so that first year I realized we had done something. Of course, the robot was crap, but I had such an amazing time helping with the construction of it that it really inspired me. I came back to the DSST next year as a different person. I had grown a lot as a person over the summer. I didn't really get up to much, but I had spent a lot of time volunteering and working at the school, and I'd started to get a little more socially, adjusted. So, this is where I think I made my first friends, in robotics sophomore year. This time, I threw everything else out, and I focused 6 days a week, every week, putting in a total of over 400 hours during the season. I did design primarily on the computer and learned a lot of skills, but I also participated in building, and it was the most incredible time of my life. I dealt with my first experience of heartbreak, however, and some severe depressional issues, but overall I learned a lot, I gained a lot, and I found a lot of people. And the next year I had a lot of stress engineering. I wasn't able to participate in robotics as much, but now I'm come back, and I feel like, again, I've been reborn, each year, and I'm finding myself talking to more people than I ever have before. I consider myself to have far more friends than I ever had before, and to be contributing to the team more than ever, because I never really made a huge contribution. But I mean, now I think of robotics kind of like my family. They're always here for me. When I'm down, they're here to listen and to encourage and to help me help me stand back up, so that not only can I help continue with the team, but because they care about me and I care about them, and the bonds that I have created in robotics are things that I cherish more than almost anything. The relationships I have created in robotics, I think, are more powerful than any robot we could design. Robots fall apart, they fail, but friendships tend to endure much longer, and I feel like robotics has helped me more than anything else in at least my time in high school.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know we all appreciate it, and we all have similar stories, and this is definitely the sort of material we definitely want